God code. So what's happened, what I perceived in the field, especially since the equinox, is that we switched our level of consciousness, that we switched our intention, almost like we were operating from our past trauma, reacting from the past trauma, from the ancestral trauma, from our own trauma, from our past life trauma. And now we made a switch to creation, to our creator, to our God state. In this webinar, I have been guided to open up the operation system of the body, which is always there anyway in the background. It's always running from the God code, but to bring the consciousness to that system, to bring allowance to that system, that we fully operate from our God creator state, and to almost like release the veils, the programs that are around the human brain, which had the dogmas, had the teachings, had the brainwashing, had the separation, and to operate from your creator's state, your divine state, who you really are. Unlimited state, limitlessness. The limits came in with the victim perpetrator archetype systems, which we were living from, which we chose to live from and come here and incarnate to transform these cycles. So what we were doing was we were bringing light to the shadow, love, light, consciousness, darkness, shadow, evil, whatever you want to call it, separation. The two of them supported each other. So the way of transforming up the systems and transforming what's in our roots, what's in our shadow, is to look with no judgments into the shadow, look into the demon, look into the devil with inside, and look in with consciousness, with light, bring light to the shadow. So when you're out of judgments and you simply bring your light, your love, your consciousness to that shadow, the shadow transforms and you raise your level of consciousness. And this is what we've been doing. And this is where we're at. And by doing that, the systems which are not in resonance with creation collapse. We now can operate fully from our God state, level of consciousness, and also in our DNA. The DNA, the creator part of our system, the God code, can literally open up all these strands of DNA, which we have not been accessing, and operate from there. In these strands are the qualities, because we're all from different star systems, and the DNA is made up of different star systems, and the quality and the gifts of each of these star systems. In each of these star systems, there's different level of consciousness. And in those systems, there was no victim perpetrator stage. There was no hatred. There is no hatred in that field, on that vibration. So as we became conscious of the unconscious and transformed what we transformed, now we're ready to bring down new levels of consciousness, new levels of being, new potential to this field. Instant manifestation, transformation, self-regeneration, self-healing. So from the God state, level of consciousness, you can access all the systems. You can access all the levels which are in your DNA of where your origin is, what planets, what stars you're from, what abilities you have in your system, how to maneuver in those qualities, how to become the mastery of you, the mastery of your qualities, the master of the elements. So all these levels of consciousness can drop down into your system. In this webinar, I'll be open up in the cells, in the brain, in the DNA, the purest form of your essence, the highest level of your consciousness, which is creation, which is the God code. And from there, the operating system, which is us, streams down the frequencies, streams down new levels of consciousness, and reconnects to who we are as spirit. And you will feel it, you will sense it. Maybe even now you can sense it. You are creation. And as you operate from creation, from the God code, cellularly, heaven to earth, cellularly, you start creating heaven and earth. You start manifesting heaven and earth. And the old matrices, without having to fight them, dissolve or collapse around you. And you open up space and you access space that these vibrations do not touch your system because they're not in your resonance anymore. So as you transform and raise your level of consciousness, your frequencies change. And as you addressed and looked directly into the shadow, directly into these old systems of separation, you transform them within you, within your vibration. So you are not on that resonance anymore. I always see it like a barge in a lock, that we know where we're going, but actually the water's coming in, but we're not there yet. Well, we are there. We actually are there. So we've raised our vibration. We've gone out of the mud, and we've gone deeper into the mud actually as well. We've gone deeper into the earth. The deeper we're going down, because we've faced our shadows, we've faced the denser frequencies, because the God code is in every frequency. We become whole. Light, consciousness, love. And at this state, the same God code, which is creating the environment, which has created this beautiful universe, this beautiful planet Earth, is inside you. And that's how you recreate your life. That's what we're creating at the moment. I feel really we're at this pivoting point of creation on this planet at the moment. And these old matrices are simply dissolving and stripping away. And they're only making noise to serve the higher purpose, actually. They're making noise to show us where man was unconscious. So it's bringing consciousness, the ability to be conscious of the unconsciousness, the parts of our system where we were not conscious. And as you look and face them with love, light, and consciousness, they dissolve and collapse with no judgments. The trick is no judgments in the system. It doesn't work with judgments. So everything that's playing out in your life around you is showing you what's in your own system, showing you what is not transformed in your system and what is denser frequency, which has not been transformed, or where you were not conscious of it. And this is what's up at the moment. And this is what's transforming at the moment. So in this webinar, I really feel honored and blessed to hold this space so we can operate fully in our lives from our God state, from our God code, and access and stream that our brain is open to streaming the God consciousness into our vessel, into our cells, into our DNA, and into our hearts and our lives, that we are that vibration. unity consciousness, and pure creation. Feeling that resonance. It's in you already, and it's happened already. This is what the webinar is about. Have a beautiful day.